Hmm. Okay, okay. We are live on YouTube, I think. Should be. Right. Hmm. I don't remember when I sent them the password. And I can't remember the password, which is really unhelpful. Right, well, we'll just have to do it a different way for now. But looks like the game is going live now. For our many, many sins. So that's nice. And I am going to be talking to myself a lot. So what situation are these teams in? Let's have a quick look at the league table. Unfortunately, I can't pull it up, but it's in the Season 25 announcement thing, and at the end of the day. Yeah. So You Look Stunned are 6 and 4, and Diversity Quota are 4 and 6. So if Diversity Quota win, the worst that can happen is they can end up in playoffs for qualification, which could be up to a four-way playoff, as I understand. Uh, I can't remember what the tiebreaker 2 is, but I would expect that if You Look Stunned lose to DQ 2-0, and then Ligma and Five Angry Men both win, you'd have 4 teams on 6-6. I imagine the tiebreaks work out in such a way that we have a four-way tiebreaker to resolve, which sounds hilariously awful. If You Look Stunned win either game, then they are locked and DQ are done for. Dunzo, gone. Yeah, I believe that's right. Right. I should just make sure people know that the stream is live by posting it in some places. Right, so we got the Spiritbreaker ban because it's a very strong hero. I don't actually think You Look Stunned have used the hero that effectively, but whatever. I don't. And they ban Bane because they're showing people some respect. The Brewmaster ban is because Mike will play at any role and is very, very good at it. What's the other ban going to be? You've got choices here on the original DQ lineup. And, you know, you'd have to think about this a little bit, I think. Certainly I would be. I think there's a perfectly valid argument to be made for banning Mel's Rubik. It's definitely the hero Mel is strongest and most comfortable on. But they go for the Necrophos, which is actually a little bit of a surprise. Ruby has played the Necrophos this season and obviously laid super well, etc. on it, but that was a game they lost because it then fell off hard. And I think Daggy was playing carry that game. I can't remember that. I think that might have been one Daggy was having connection problems, to be fair. But they just couldn't pick up the kind of loss as the Necrophos kind of fell off. Anyway, let's see how they decide to use this first pick. So they opt for the Weaver. Obviously, probably well, it is just the support of the patch, right? But they also have the option of running it as carry. I know that they have at least 3 players who will happily play I imagine it'll probably be Mike if it's support and Daggy if it's carry, but I'm not sure. I know that Tom and Ruby definitely will be able to play Weaver carry as well, so we just have to see how they decide they want to line up. It's my face. My face is going to get in the way of this, isn't it? I'll put me over here for now. Maybe up in the top right corner. But you know, I thought you'd all want to see my beautiful face on a Sunday evening. And I desperately need a shave, and probably better lighting in this room, let's be honest, but I'm moving in like a week or two, so. So we see them take the Tide Hunter. I expected this to be a contested pick, because Nelson very happy on his 3 Tide. We've seen Diversity Quota play the 3 Tide before to some great effect. Connor's also played some Mid Tide, which has not won, I think, but, you know, nevertheless. I'm not sure what the follow-up to nevertheless is. Just general, nevertheless. Disruptor, I think, decent pick against the Weaver. Obviously you get, you know, between the Q and the W, quite a good way to lock a Weaver down. The ult's obviously very good at preventing Weaver ult. Actually, obviously we should mention Kinetic Field as well. You can't just shuck your way out of Kinetic Field. I think Disrupt is a very reasonable answer to Weaver, whether as a core or support. And, you know, the stupid thing about support Weaver is it's so potent you actually have to answer it in a way that often you don't answer supports. Any chatters? Given I'm solo casting, if anyone wants to talk in chat, it would be helpful. It would be very, very useful to have someone to kind of bounce off. But yeah, let's see how they decide to use the end of this phase, and this should probably tell us quite a bit about the Weaver. It doesn't tell us about the Weaver. I know that was almost expected, the Rubik there, but every time they do this, and they've done this before, it feels like a waste of being first pick. They've used the first pick really well, but, you know, this closing pick to the phase is classically used to pick a kind of win condition hero and then ban 3 things to protect that win condition. And it would almost have made more sense, therefore, to invert the order of these picks, but maybe Weaver would have been too contested for that to happen. I don't know, I just think it's a bit rough. So they ban out the Faceless Void. That, to me, leans towards this being a core Weaver, because Faceless Void is extremely good against Weaver. But to be honest, given there's already a Disruptor, I'm not really sure I'd want this to be a core Weaver. It is Radiant's ban. Monkey ban, just showing Ruby some respect on that, I think sensible. I mean, I don't want to try and predict these bans too much. I'm just quite happy trying to read into these bans what we can. 5 seconds. Try and get some idea of how the teams are thinking rather than tell you what I think they should be doing. Medusa ban as well. I mean, probably wise, because they're playing against a Connor team, you don't want the game to go super long, but we aren't seeing many classic Gianni heroes being banned here, which feels odd. Again, ban the Void Spirit, because Connor presumably has decided he doesn't want to play it, and Ruby's very strong on it. Yeah, interested, because I really don't know how DQ prefer to line up, because they have just kind of switched them all around a bit this season with their cores. We even seen Mike play core some games, so we'll have to see. Luna ban, I mean, she's played that and, you know, is pretty good at it, but there's still so much Gianni hero available right now that I think is quite good. Yeah. Like, to be honest, if it were up to me, I think this Dire draft is screaming Naga. Like, Song is the perfect setup for Ravage and Disruptor ult. There was a very long period of time where pro teams were, you know, very highly contesting Naga Disruptor. Just because they're like, if we can just Song and then get a 3-man Disruptor, we're going to win the fight. Seems a reasonable plan. And I will be shocked if they aren't at least discussing that. Of course, with the pick order as well, they can pick this Naga, I think, at the end of this phase, very happily. And the Underlord ban really does lead me to believe that's the way they're going. So what I want them to do now is pick up their other core, then close the phase with this Naga, and then just pick a mid that's going to win its lane. And, you know, help them through to that point. But I think Yuluxtund are in a pretty good place in this draft right now. Certainly, I think if they pick that Naga, they will be. Otherwise, you know, DQ have probably got the strongest hero of the patch on this Weaver. But I want to see them use this double pick they have very well, DQ, then, to persuade me that I shouldn't just enjoy the team fight and kind of power of the Yuluxtund draft a little bit more. That's probably the 4 Lina from Trenchy. They've done this combo before with Tide Lina, and it was a monster. Very hard to play against because, you know, Nelson, I think he's put an early point in Gush. Trenchy even bought on the Lina a orb thingy. One that gives you minus armor on hit. Blightstone, that's the one. And, you know, at any point they hit an LSA, they're just doing half your health plus. Like, Gush into LSA, Gush being quite decent setup for LSA as well. Then Lina just starts hitting you with Fiery Soul, with this Blightstone, with the minus armor from Gush already out, and, you know, if Tide can contribute a few hits, great, but very difficult to lane against that, I think. And DQ really need to work out what their plan for that is going to be. Makes me like the core Weaver probably a little bit more, because can play more easily away from that. I think? Don't know, because the other side is core Weaver can maybe just get... Sorry, support Weaver can maybe just get around and play at the Lina. But Fiery Soul is very good against bugs. I don't know. A bit conflicted about how DQ should answer this, I suppose. I want... If the Weaver is a support, they need to pick a strong laning carry. But no, that says to me then that this is a core Weaver, and that's a Mike 5 Abaddon. I'd be very surprised if that's not the case now. Don't know if anyone in chat has a different opinion. But I like the Abaddon will pretty clearly be Mike's hero. I'd expect it to be the 5. I think Abaddon Weaver's a decent enough lane. They've got some way to kind of mitigate what we just talked about with the burst from the Tide Lina combo, dispelling the stun plus the Gush minus armor. And then they go for the Mars. So I imagine that's probably Tom. And Mars would be a decent lane, but and would actually bully a Naga okay. I still think I would just take the Naga anyway if I'm Yuluxtund. And trust in the fact that we're just going to win team fights. I don't know. Yeah, no, because you can put the Abaddon in the Disrupt ult and be absolutely fine with that. But the Abaddon is very good against the Tide. I mean, come on, like, let's give them credit, right? It's a good laning answer to this Tide Lina lane, and it's very good against Ravage as well. Like, Mars Ubik is a pretty strong lane to play against the kind of Naga we're expecting to see, I would think. Yeah, I really... You know, I think DQ have used that double pick well, which is what I was just saying I think they needed to do. And maybe Yuluxtund are now second-guessing this... What must have been a Naga plan, right? I just don't see an alternative, but... do you just take something completely different now and take... Like, PA? Probably has got a miserable laning phase, I would have thought. Terror... No. No. Really, really don't like that. I don't understand what that's giving me that the Naga wouldn't have. Sure, you got a bit of... You probably... no, it's Mars, Bulwark. I really dislike that. And they actually really don't have that many ways to protect it, which Terrorblade normally wants, you know, for the mid-game fights that he's turning up to, some way to kind of protect him easily. I'm probably missing something here, because my brain isn't working, but I'm not convinced of what that TB pick is about, because it's not a particularly good reflection game either.
10 seconds.
And there's quite a lot of magic damage already coming out of diversity quota, and they have a last pick. No, you know, they have one more pick for their mid-hero to pick up some more... What should definitely be magic damage, right? And they have a bunch of choices. Like, Storm's banned out, they banned Quap themselves. Them banning Quap themselves, you know, a little bit surprising. I thought Quap would be a really good pick for them, but there we go. They clearly have something in mind. Zeus? Yeah, kind of hard to find the Zeus.
Seconds remain.
Not a terrible idea then. Yeah, I could talk myself into Zeus here.
Seconds remain.
But maybe I will be talking myself into it. Like, if it were me, I'd, just pick Sand King and chuckle. They banned Puck as well. Why are they banning Puck? This seems to be saying something like Zeus to me, something that's going to jump the backlines that they don't want to deal with. And Connor isn't an Ember player. Pango? I mean, I quite like Pango for diversity quota here. Bats probably okay as well. Yeah, for me, I'd pick Sand King and kind of be quite merry in this game, but not everyone's a Sand King degenerate. TA ban, sure, but I don't think TA was ever going to be a good pick for diversity quota there. I'd have picked, I picked EB. I want to ban something that does lots of magic damage, not. I appreciate the point around Cyblades that someone's probably thinking, but no. You need to. Zeus is a classic TB answer. I'd be really surprised if that's not where they're going to end up. Like, if they play Tinker, sure, but I don't think anyone really plays Tinker well except Harry. Lesh, I don't like that much against TB. Too hard to get in. The Mars protects that somewhat, but honestly, I just think this is such a this feels like Zeus. Like Pango is probably pretty good. I do like Pango. I mentioned that before, I think. And obviously, I would play Sand King here because I'm, awful. But Ember. I mean, it gives them temper. I mean, it's good, right? It'll get the Maelstrom. It'll give you another way to clear out illusions for a while. Problem is, Ember's damage against illusions does kind of drift off a little bit at a certain point. I definitely would have preferred Zeus. And they banned so many of the good jumps for Zeus that I don't think that would have been a problem. But, I mean, the Ember pick is fine, and you can see how it's going to work.
Legion Commander.
Connor with the mid-Legion. Yeah, Connor with the mid-Legion. I would expect that probably lanes pretty well into Ember. The Flame Guard question is the classic one here, and I don't think Legion can really break Flame Guard. So Ember should have some significant peaks in this lane at probably until about level 4 or 5. At a certain point, I'd expect Legion can probably like level 3 is probably the biggest peak because of the Flame Guard uptime that you end up with there. At a certain point, though, Legion probably just is able to trade with you in the wave. If he does some kind of 1-0-1 build and then 3-0-2, 2-1-2, I don't know. Right, I'm going to get rid of my camera now because I'm going to eat Doritos and Tzatziki. Excellent combination, by the way. Disruptor already good against Ember, so a bit of an odd pick. Yeah, I mostly agree with that. I think it's a little bit unusual, but I mean, Ember's such an early BKB bio anyway that I don't think that's priced in. Jewel obviously a very good thing. I do think Zeus would have been a better pick. I'll say that again. But I don't think this is too bad. Excellent combination. Alright, let's see what we get then. A quick run down of starting items. That's a lot of regen and 2 fairy fires on the Rubik. 2 mangoes as well. Just maybe a bit light on stats. It's meh. I'm nitpicking a little bit. Daggy, fine, yeah, maybe. I don't know whether people are doing Quelling Blade on Weaver. Probably not, because the damage is so high, right? Tom. With the early stick because of, yeah, fine. Just take a Rebuke, which is a little bit cheeky.
Sound strategy.
Some toxicity already coming out. Very bad, very bad. Yeah, fine. I would be interested to see whether Ruby bothers with the Orb of Corrosion that a lot of members do. I personally probably wouldn't here, and I think would be right not to, but we'll see. Mike then No salve. Mike, what is this? You can't play boss 5 without a salve.
30 seconds to battle.
Very naughty. Connor then, in classic Connor fashion, doesn't bother to bring regen. They get the ward. Nice. I mean, this is just ridiculous. What is this? Like, I mean, if this is going to be a brace... Oh, right, okay. Flame Rail's going to be a real problem for him early on in that lane. Matt responding to the double Fairy Fire with the triple Fairy Fire, we smart. Nelson has 2 for 2 on the bounties, by the way, Ring of Protection. Like, this is fine. Again, these all feel a bit stat-light to me. This is very sensible. Slippers, sure. A lot of regen for carry to be bringing, but to support... I mean, the support's brought some. Pizza's presumably going to ship a second salve out soon. How does this trade go? Pretty well for Pizza, I would have thought. Not least because Pizza tangoed better. But it's backing off and giving the space away, presumably because Fadebolt's coming on cooldown first. So that's actually ended up going pretty well for Mel. We've seen the early meta used. We should get the CS up. 3 and 1 on the first wave for this Ember Spirit. It's 2 and 0. Because of the D-Ward, Connor still gets 2 from the first wave, but that's a bit of a blow, I would think. And he's not got any points in overwhelming odds. It's a little bit unusual. Gonna get denied. No? No. Nice. Pleased with that, and getting decent harass onto Ruby here. Ruby's obviously got plenty of regen, gonna get a bottle. Connor's probably gonna buy a Midas or some degenerate filth. 5 and 0 for... I think that's perfect CS so far for Gianni, it is. So, I mean, no one looking like they're in any particular degree of trouble here, but people are doing fine so far. It's coming out on Mike's courier. Bazzy, fair enough. Q level 1, presumably it was about securing a range keep or something, not sure. Definitely could use it to get that one, I think. That's 34 spells cast. Grabbing Water Rune, has the bottle now. Maybe could have waited, but probably misses CS if she does, so seems fine. Oh, it's going to get the other one anyway, right? What's Connor going here? 0-2-1. I hope it's Armlet, but... Oh! That's some nice aggression to get Nelson that early, particularly without the bug as well. Wow. Very nicely done. I'm sorry I didn't catch that, I just did not expect that. Nice slight there. Nice body blow that was quite cheeky. Oh, this is lovely for Tom here. Look at all these creeps on the tower. Good CS. We will flick away for a moment in case he misses any of those, because they're quite tricky, but nevertheless I'd have to call him a noob for missing any of them. Yep, sure enough, we're seeing the use of the Flame Guard to get the wave pushed out. We're presumably now going to go jungler camp. The one difficulty about this is you don't really have Flame Guard for that. Okay, no, I'm just going to go grab the bounty and then go back.
Never refuse gold given.
What? Come on! You're not serious!
Radiant's courier has been killed.
Can someone... Like, I've known Connor for like 3 years now, and I still don't know what goes on in his brain. People explain. Easy to cover the best seals. Yeah, but you're not unhappy with pretty much anything you get from Lena at the start, right? Lena smells very good. Others are okay, but I mean, if I were playing the Rubik, Lena would be my first choice of here to steal from her most of the time. Unless I thought I could get Ravage. And, you know, Mel's got some factors at getting Ravage. I've seen some nice steals on that, so, you know. It's certainly not out of the realm of possibility we see that. I think you need a lens, don't you, to reliably do it, but... So Connor coming out ahead mid, but remember, he did have the counter pick at the end of the day. He should come out somewhat ahead. He's got his blink flying out though. What I'm just not entirely sure is what he plans to do with this blink.
Money to burn.
Because I don't think he's going to kill the Ember Spirit alone. Oh no, it is phase. Oh, he's just... okay. Whew. I mean, it would have been a very early blink, to be fair, 4.5 minutes. I could reliably get 4.5 minute blinks. I would, I just wouldn't be playing Legion. But, I mean, overall, laning phase going pretty even. Probably a slight lead for the Dire because their Callie's doing better. But, yeah. Oh. Tom's in a lot of danger here, I think. Oh, nice lift from Mel. Tom is going to live. That's very nicely done. But, yeah, Tom in trouble. So, I think TB's one of those heroes I'd probably take Bulwark at least 1 point. Well, definitely only 1 point for laning, right? But there you go. Against... But, I don't know, if they're able to get aggressive. Ah, pathing there. Nevertheless, I mean, Tom needed some resources, so them getting a kill just before isn't going to upset him too much. Right, I like this a lot more from Connor, phase into Blade Mail. This is where he's going to be able to get early kills without too much help. Again, I think Armlet's probably better, but... Someone will have to explain Connor's name to me at some point, what this sponsor is. Ruby coming up Remnant to make sure she gets the haste rune. Mike coming up to Obscured as well, because Daki's actually just doing fine on her own. So I need to... I'm not sure what Daki's pronoun is. If anyone could confirm. But yeah, I mean, we've almost level 6. Certainly not anything they're going to be upset about. And they can go on Nelson here, and I think they should. I think Mike should be as well. Mike doesn't have a point in... Like, if they had a point in Avernus, they would have such high kill threat, I think, here. I mean, Mike is obviously far better support of Adam player than I, but...
The rune of haste.
Ruby going for the rotation towards the top lane. Almost certainly going to find Mel here. Mel probably already dead, but, you know, you can steal the kill anyway. Oh, not Mel, sorry, Pizza. Oh, Pizza gets the Mel kill first. Okay, you don't be unhappy about this, but Tom, you know that... But Ruby just... Because Ruby's on his team. Jesus Christ, well, you can tell I'm half asleep. Be careful, your teammate's coming to gank you. I mean, I felt like that before, but that's certainly not what's happening here. Let's switch up to net worth now. Connor's 400 up, because presumably less jungle creeps in those numbers. But, I mean, Gianni's doing far better than any of the other cores. Oh, but Gianni's on Connor's team. Yeah, so Dire must be much happier about how this laning phase is going, even their supports are having a better time. Daggy obviously with a lot of levels, has a javelin now. I do feel like they have kill potential on Nelson here. I saw when I play against good weavers on this kind of hero, they often wrap behind me, hit me with the bugs, hit me with a few spells, take half my health if not more. I'd be interested if Farley's watching to see what he thinks as the weaver specialist, but that'd be my instinct. We goes this bottle, double damage, gonna run towards Connor with it. Connor, 100 gold off his blade mail. Just gonna have phase blade 4.2k at pre 9 minutes. He's doing very well. I mean, Ruby's no slouch either at 4k at 9 minutes.
From blaze to inferno.
Got the point in overwhelming odds now, which is mainly for the move speed with how he's decided to build here. I do think there's nothing wrong with just throwing casual jewels into the situation just to kind of wear Ruby down a bit. Maybe you just buy it out. Chip vest. There's a free kind of semi-blade mail effect, rather. 30 damage to heroes that hit you. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot that. Blade mail being 20 plus 20% is, you know, the passive amount from blade mail is a similar amount. So.
This will do.
Yeah, interesting stuff. Overall, as I say, I think Dyer probably happier at this lane. Oh, look at Pizza again, nice. But I mean, Gianni's in the jungle now. Someone's just got to sit top and is going to get killed occasionally. They didn't have to use Arena, which I think Radiant would be very pleased about. Often for those kind of dives, you find yourself having to use it. I'm guessing some good patience came out there that allowed them to do so. Ruby activating the haste rune now. Mike getting caught up the hill, gets Jeweled, he's going to die. And then the Centaur stun comes out afterwards. And the next Centaur stun, Trenchy has just been killed because of Flame Guard plus Centaur stuns. I think you just hit Connor. You're too late now. He's going back for the blink now. He doesn't have the damage for that. I mean, he's just got 10. Yeah, I mean, don't alter out, but yes, the double Centaur was very funny. Wouldn't shock me if Trenchy went and immediately killed the remaining Centaur just because. You know, top on net worth, but yeah, Gianni doing for it. What's Gianni gone for? Dragonlance. Are we going to do Manta into Skadi or Skadi into Manta? Or is this an S and Y game? It might be an S and Y game, you know. Oh, they get the duel. They're not going to kill in the duel. Did they have a follow-up? They do not. It's good stun, good shield and response. Ruby does turn aggressive and get Trenchy, but then dies. So possibly not worth it. Pizza could die here though. Good kinetic. Tom comes over with a spear, narrowly misses, and you know, in the end, decent trade for the Dyer, but came very close to not being.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. The Radiant glyph is now active. Radiant should look to the top tower.
For the effort.
Right, Ember's coming back in. Oh, map, look. That's a nice static over the arena to prevent the arena doing too much. But I think they are still going to lose both supports that were caught in the arena. Yeah. Jewel on the back does get mail in response. And Mike's courier, presumably at the secret shop. Not sure what that would have been for. If so, don't know. Not sure what happened there. Anyway, it's Dorito time. I haven't had a single one of my Doritos with tzatziki yet, which is just unforgivable. No, that's premium snacking. And tzatziki's because I'm a fancy boy. What's the term people use? I don't know. Fancy something. Again, brain not working tonight. Oh. Connor's come back mid. 400 gold off having Blink Blade Mail. Very nice for him, I think.
Dire's top tower is in danger.
2-4-3 build. Set himself a bunch of sentries as well because he's feeling vision around these parts probably.
Tower is under attack.
They survive their trouble, but they're not going to be overly concerned about that. Tom getting a lot of pressure onto the top tower, but Gianni is here. Gianni is indeed going for the Manta. As I say, I think this is possibly an SMY game, but I am no Terrorblade player. It just looks pretty good to me, and I'm less than sold on more illusions versus better illusions. Some slightly whiffed spells there from the Dyer. would it be possible to think that that is just a disengaging Ravage in the end? And Radiant very happy with how that's gone. Ruby obviously has the Maelstrom and could have a piece of BKB. I think on Lincoln's, that looks like a Skadi? Skadi good against Tailblade, I like that, I think. I mean, I think my Weaver's getting a Skadi then. My Weaver already has a Maelstrom as well. Finishes treads. Good stun from Tom, sorry, onto Tom from Matt, Trenchy, but Nelson just getting run down, I think, yeah, and actually Mel has LSA, which is a very nice spell on Rubik. Obviously level 1 LSA, so a little bit less so, but... Oh, and Mike mitigates off the Dragon Slave. That's a really nice arena. And Ruby gets the duel win. Tom goes down. Connor's already gone down. Ruby has still got a Remnant as well, so not really in any danger here, I think. Well, is now, yep. Rude. Still the Remnant now. Like, if you Remnant, you can Remnant Glimpse, but Slight's a bit odd. Peter goes down now in response. Trenchy then gets onto Mel, and obviously the TB is just whacking away, and now Mike's surely dead as well. So that sequence in the end, I think, goes pretty darn well for the Dire. I think. Bright spot for Radiant, obviously, is that Daggy didn't have to show up. But Daggy was in the jungle. I think Daggy wants to be up here now. Both sides yet to take a tower, although I think that's about to change. That's a dead Weaver. They do lose Nelson for it, but that's more dual damage for Connor. He's not going to be too upset about that. Has the Blade Mail blink. Now has an Invis here, but no duel for 30 seconds, so won't be doing an Invis duel. Mel gets the dual damage, very nice. And both teams now have lost a mid-tier 1 tower. And Dire have lost their top tier 1. Okay, so everyone lost tons of tier 1s in that. Great, yeah, good. I was paying lots of attention. Uncontested Tailblade is going to be a problem. Yeah, I mean, Ember is on track to be able to do something about it, although this build plan doesn't for me. Certainly there needs to be Shivas in there somewhere. Oh, it's Axe, not Skadi. That makes a lot more sense. If Weaver's buying Skadi, which Weaver should be buying Skadi, let's be clear. But Shiva's fantastic against Tailblade. I think I'd have liked to see one of those. Tom gets jeweled, ravaged, Lagooned, everything. Mike, Mike went for the ult and stuff, but damage just came out so quickly there, I think. Connor now up to 60 damage. I was actually saying if stunned win 1 game, then it's all over, but that only depends on the results of the other games, right? Basically, DQ would need to equal or better whatever results Stunned and Ligma get this week. BKB now finished on Ruby. We'll see how they decide to get the first use out of it. Manta finished on TB. Skadi on the way as well. That's a glimpse onto Mike. And the duel comes out. But the moment the duel comes out, this just means it's go time, I think. But Tom also goes down, Mike buys back. Ruby, though, with the BKB, was just able to go completely free. Connor has to choose between hitting Ruby and hitting. And Gianni now very low, but gets the Sunder onto Mel. Mel does get the steal and was going for the counterplay. I think that was quite a deliberate attempt, but Gianni just a little bit too quick getting the crucial damage out. But good exchange for the Radiant, I think. And actually, Gianni is just getting kind of prodded around here. But Peter's TP'd in and just caught Ruby. Ruby has no mana. I think it's just dead. That's I mean, I was enjoying the dancing around, but ended up being a bit greedy, I think. And now can Mike die as well? Mike with the glimpse. Oh, the glimpse. Reflection comes out. Mike doesn't have shield yet. So it's going to actually silence him, and he's going to go down. Connor with the wait for it, I want dual damage. 100 dual damage sub 20 minutes. That's when I used to play a lot of Mid Legion. That was always the metric I set myself. If I had 100 dual damage at 20 minutes, I knew it was going to be a good game. So Connor has set himself up for a very good game here, I think, with those kind of dual damage numbers.
Regeneration.
Connor just goes down though. This, the BKB and the connection from... Oh, good arena as well. I think this is 3 kills. Nelson identified that early and just bailed, but the other heroes obviously caught by the arena. And a good fight now for the Radiant. One of these classic games where both teams are really struggling to win multiple fights in a row, and there's a Philosopher's Stone on the floor there, Nelson. Please notice it. That is theirs, right? Yes. And they made the Roshan call, and I think it's a good call. Stop tanking, Mike. Let Tom tank. He's got pull block. I mean, I guess he wasn't really tanking there, it was the bug, but... And I don't think Dire are going to be in time to do anything about this, if they even know it's happening. They do seem to be converging heroes in the area with the smoke, so it does seem like they know. And the illusions in... Actually, Dire are perfectly in time to do something about this. Oh, and the 4-man Static Storm, the duel, the stolen Static Storm, though. Connor didn't get dual damage there, but I don't think he'll mind too much. Beautiful Static Storm, great steal of it as well, gotta say, but... You know, the seal ultimate was affecting 1 hero, and the original spell was affecting 4. And Connor, you know, Connor got a very quick change of target. He blinked in for the duel, and then, like, as he did so, Ruby kind of arrived in the pit, and he very quickly changed his target onto Ruby. And now that's a 5-for-1 and a 5k lead and an Aegis on the Terrorblade. I think that's, you know, that's a potentially decisive fight already. Because TV now gonna have the Skadi. Yeah, TV's got the Skadi. Oof. I think this is now very difficult for Radiant. TV's just way ahead now. Daggy probably shouldn't be too unhappy to have been glimpsed away there. Able to force the Aegis, but there is Ravage available for Nelson. I'm really surprised that Dire are planning to Radiant are planning to fight this. But, I mean, good read by Mike. He just ran straight at Nelson. Oh, the static though, holy shit. And then the Ravage over the top. And the duel onto Daggy, and everyone's going down. Mike does at least run down Pizza, but... Yeah, the re-engage felt dodgy, and they actually did it quite well, I think, with Mike going in to try and cancel the Ravage, but they weren't able to hold them in place. They'd already used the pit, and the re-engage actually proves really quite costly. Yeah, certainly costly. And, you know, Connor's blinked in. He's popped the blade mail, but he actually doesn't do anything without duel. Or at least, he's, you know, he hits hard, but he's no way to make sure he's actually hitting things. They can just kind of wander away. Duel now back up, but so is the entire Radiant team. And they've no, you know, they've no Aegis anymore. There's no way their thought process should involve going high ground here. Nelson Nice, he's got the axe, he's got the hood. I think he's now just going back to the blink. Very standard, trenchy as well. He's got his Yules. He's had this Yules quite a while.
A gift from the tempest of
I guess he's died in a bunch of these fights, but he's had this Yules a very long time. It's queuing up the blink though. Connor will want to get something done with this DD. And what he's going to get done is Tom. With the shield, Tom's going to live. Something happened with that Sunder. I'm not sure. Did Mel hit the wrong target with that Sunder? Gianni in troubler. But finds the Sunder onto Mel. Nightmare. Good BKB from Daggy, but all help from Mike. But now I think this is very difficult for Raiden to continue this fight. Obviously, if Ruby can keep prodding, great, but there's always the danger of this Disruptor hitting you with a Thunder Strike and that giving them the kind of knowledge they need to keep playing these fights. So Gianni, no Sunder, 13 seconds, meta about to expire. Could be greedy of Dyer to stay now, I think. Connor with the Blade Module does find it static over the top. But actually, what was Connor taking so much damage from? Must have been the Weaver. But oh, they do turn the fight. And that's going to be another team wipe. And Connor has made this mid Legion work very well. Very well indeed. But with the TB at this point, like, TB's already so strong that you might think this is just the Tailblade show, but, you know, their full Tricore is finding a real ability to contribute in these fights in a way I think the Radiance is struggling with a bit more. They have this Weaver to stand and deliver. Does have the BKB now, and it's used 2 charges of it, but... And, you know, Tom is their way of taking fights, so he's on to jump in every time, but until he gets his BKB, he's going to continue to find that quite difficult. And he wants to jump in and take this, yep. I mean, it's a really good pit. But they didn't BKB! Oh, Daggy! If Daggy had BKB there, they got that kill because Tom was, shard pressed by the Rubik. Oh, they look for the spear back, but only find an illusion, unlucky. And now Mike's getting beaten down by his own... Nelson, very good positioning, but no Ravage, so... Actually, far less good positioning without the spell that you need for that positioning to be useful. Johnny starts channeling the outpost. Tom gets aggressively lifted? What? Why? Connor looking for the, you know, Blade Mail jump, but Radiant quite rightly retreating at the time. Ruby almost at Lincoln's now, and obviously we know what this Lincoln's is about. I'm just still not convinced it's right. And they dueled the Abaddon with a very nice static over the top again, but Abaddon doesn't die to that, but it doesn't matter because they're able to bring down Tom instead. Daggy just running away. And Ruby split pushing. Look, this is my classic move. Tell my team to stop fighting. I want to go split push some things because I don't think we can win fights at the moment. And, you know, Dyer just pouring into the Radiant base. I swear Connor's had no new items in a while. Oh, he bought his shard, didn't he? That's why, yes. Terrorblade. Is that going to be a satanic finish? It is. Good grief, Gianni. Oh, Jewel comes out. Mel's dead. That'll be 170 Jewel damage. Good Ravage now. And because Mike had already had to ult, that's just everyone dead. Oh no, Daggy just get the time lapse. And Ruby's coming in now, BKBs. And what they can, the arena just a little bit short, but Ruby's still going to find 2 heroes down here, I think. Meanwhile, over this side, Gianni is also going to find some heroes. Pizza doing the definition of limping away. Goes down. And Gianni's going to go down as well. What on earth? Do all the damage to Gianni. The game is unable to tell me. Did he screw up a Sunder or something? Because these were all used on the Tide and stuff. I can only presume Gianni screwed up a Sunder.
Tribute to my house.
This will do nicely.
Lincoln's out now. Gonna be Ags, then Refresher. Fine, but I just want the Shivas to help deal with the Tailblade. Hopefully they've clocked this Lincoln's there. I mean, the best Lincoln's play is obviously Thunderstrike, 9-second cooldown. Glimpse, not a bad one as well, 18-second cooldown. Yeah, I was going to say that, but oh god, okay. Peter Scott, yeah. I mean, they have so much setup for this as well. They have Jewel, they have Yules. They ever get the chance to just drop an Ags disrupt to ult. Often with, you know, Ags and with shards and stuff, we say the more text they have, the better. But Disruptors has a certain elegant simplicity to it, as one of the best Ags in the game, where it's just mutes items. They find Mel. Ooh, it's a lot of damage there to Trenchy. 600. It must have been the Quiver proc, I guess, that hit Trenchy? Not sure. Connor now pushing in bot. Roche will be up in 20 seconds. Well, I presume Dire's plan is to wait around for that. It's a kind of paint by numbers Dota that I know that, you know, they're quite happy playing. I don't mean that in at all in a derogatory way. I just mean, like, you do just play very systematically. Connor's got the Halberd now, so he's quite happy to kind of play for the Lincoln's break. Very much a question of reflexes from both players at that point. And he wants it. But he's going to get greedy and go for it without the Blade Mail, I think. Nah, he's not. Okay. Meanwhile, they are just roshing, and they're feeling Connor kind of pressuring the map at them down here. And they think he's got team behind him, I guess? But actually, he's all alone, and he's actually there for the killing. We've got the Gush. They've got the LSAs to help out a bit. And you just have this monster with the Tailblade. It's about to have a Shard as well, Demon Seal, very nice. Well, Pizza took it. I actually think Gianni should take it. Buy your own and let Gianni have Demon Seal.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Just let your Tailblade win you the game.
Radiant's bottom tower is no more.
Because you've got the money for yours and 50 gold. Boo. Oh, Melso Reflection in that fight. That's all the damage. Very nice. Good steal. Very important. Did a lot of damage. Certainly can't complain about that. Nicely done. We have seen some very nice steals in this game. Credit where credit's due. Just sieging risk-free with the illusions. To be honest, I think it's risk-free if the Tailblade goes up, to be honest. You know, between Satanic Aegis and the Legion spell. I don't see why my Tailblade isn't hitting themselves. Four-man arena, lovely arena from Tom. But, oh, great static as well. Well, no follow-up. Ruby's just not there for the follow-up, I think. Unless Ruby got Glimpse, but I don't think so. And that'll be game. They Ravage, and that'll be Ruby dead, I think. Oh, Ruby comes straight back in with the buyback. The follow-up, I think it's just dead for a second time. Oh no, the Glimpse. Glimpse breaks Shul. And Nelson BMing pizza there. 30k net worth lead, 35 minutes in, game's over. Tom looks with the sphere back, but just whiffs it slightly. Gonna have to BKB here. They're gonna look to get aggressive, they're gonna look to try and fight this, but... Good arena again. And Trenchy goes down, but I think so does Daggy. Oof. Just a Shooky out. They find the jewel and that'll be Ruby dead. Connor at 230 now. Johnny still has Satanic and Aegis. Yeah. Trying to go on Gianni. I'm not sure who Mel sundered there. Yeah. And they're just going to end the game. Yep, GG. Nice game one. So, on that game one result, we can say congratulations to You Look Stunned for making the playoffs. They are guaranteed at least third. And now, Diversity Quota's future is somewhat out of their own hands. They need to win this next game if they can, and to have any chance of playoffs, they would then need 5 Angry Men and Ligma, neither of them to win 2-0 this week. 5 Angry Men, of course, have a very difficult game against my team, who are, you know, just one of the most powerful winning teams in the league. And then Ligma, I believe, have actually a very tough game against Is That a Fucking Turd, who look like they, well, actually are locked for first. So, yeah, not the easiest game for Ligma. 5 AM probably should be fancying their chances now. But we'll have to see. And we will go on a break. But yeah, as Flippia says in the chat, very clean Tailblade game in the end, and it was. Flip side is, it didn't feel like Gianni actually had to do too. You know, it wasn't a game that was ever made difficult for him by his team either. His team did a great job controlling the fights, controlling the game. The Mid Legion worked out very well for them. Nelson had a very good game on the Tide. We really felt this disrupt a lot as well. Actually did 21,000 damage. And, you know, Ruby did a ton of damage on this Ember. We had some beautiful Mars arenas and things like that, but they just weren't able to win the fight together. Don't have the same level of easy team fight as Ravage and Disrupt World. So, yeah, see you for game 2 shortly. Okie dokie, we're live with game 2.
5 seconds
After a little bit of wait, you look stunned, 1-0 up, as I say, locked themselves into playoffs, congratulations to them. Diversity Quota, as discussed, just need the best result they can get and hope other things go their way elsewhere. You look stunned, opting for the same opening ban. I imagine we'll see the same ban from you look stunned in both bans. DQ banning the Weave instead of the Spirit Breaker, which I'm on board with. I'm just not sure you look stunned actually play the Spirit Breaker hero, really. Yep, sure enough, you look stunned up with the same bands. What are they going to opt for with their second ban? We saw, like, I can't remember what they banned alongside Spiritbreaker. Bane last time, so I imagine the discussion is Bane or SB, but Bane is the right ban. Good. Yep, and they opt for that. I'll be very surprised if we see them pick Spiritbreaker here. What did they take first last time? Tide. Yeah, I mean, you could open Tide Disruptor quite happily. They had so much success with it. They opened Disruptor instead of Tide. Maybe expecting that to be more contested? Dunno. For what it's worth, I don't think it would be. And if we know anything about DQ's drafting, they're probably going to opt for Rubik +1 here.
10 seconds remain. 5 seconds remain.
They could take the Tide away, but yeah, maybe this Disruptor pick discourages it somewhat because you can't crack it off the silence. Maybe that's the whole point. Yeah.
Dyer's turn to pick.
Oh, we're going for the Visage. So the Mike Visage, Visage? I don't know. We can pronounce this lots of different ways, all but one of which are wrong.
10 seconds.
Rather like that pick. Wrong. Ha 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 ha. No, it's fine.
5 seconds.
And Mike's obviously very good at it. So this other pick is then going to be...
Radiant's turn to pick.
They do take the Spirit Breaker. Okay, yeah. I think that's a decent opening. I'm surprised they didn't take the Rubik, to be honest. I really thought we were going to see it, but... I thought they would maybe do Rubik Spirit Breaker. But fine. Yeah.
10 seconds.
And while Disruptor's okay against Spirit Breaker, you know, it's not brilliant. I would still be very happy playing Spirit Breaker here. And sure enough, they just pick the Tide again. So... They don't have any early Yawls as yet, which is obviously the bane of Spirit Breaker's life. How Bane's banned, by the way.
Dyer's turn to ban.
Monkey goes... So, what did we see last time? Monkey, Void... Can't remember the third one. And this is playing Whack-A-Mole with what carry do we think Gianni's going to play?
5 seconds remain.
I bet they'll ban Terrorblade this time. Not that I think they needed to last game, just to be clear, but I think they already have a worse lineup for dealing with the Terrorblade than they had at this point last game.
It is Radiant's ban.
I'm a prophet. So, Void Spirit... Yep, there it goes. And then... I don't know, what carry do you want to ban now? Medusa. Okay, they go for the Medusa again, fine. I actually quite like Spirit Breaker late game against Medusa, but fair enough. Ugly bugger Spirit Breaker, isn't he? Yeah, I am appearance shaming, and what?
Dyer's turn.
Morphling, third ban. I thought that was probably the third ban last time, and I just forgotten it, right? Probably. Hi. Juggernaut. Yeah, makes sense. I think they banned Luna there last time instead, but they're a little bit less worried about Luna this game, which I think is right.
10 seconds remain.
Very surprised we didn't see the Rubik banned. I expect they will pick it. Like, I'm reading this as a 3 Spirit Breaker. If it isn't, then it drastically changed the draft, but I think it should be.
Radiant must choose.
Hey, Willow. Fine. Don't know if this could be a role swap from someone. Not sure. Or maybe they want to do Willow morph with their Willows in morphs band. No, I'm not understanding what the appeal of Willow is just yet in this draft. I'll put it that way. Looking at what we can see so far, I'm not sure what the Willow is for, and I don't think it necessarily presents a new problem either. Like, your picks are either a response or a way of presenting a new problem, and right now, I don't think Willow does any of that. So we get the classic Trenchy Mirana. Doesn't want to play Lina again, fair enough. But I mean, this is fundamentally the same draft. Yes, it's Mirana, not Lina, but fundamentally this draft works in the same way so far. Now they're going to pick a core up.
10 seconds remain.
And based on what they can see, it's actually quite difficult, to be fair. You can't pick Lone or anything like that. You could probably pick PA, but I wouldn't be excited by it. I certainly wouldn't want to pick Troll. Wraith King, it's fine, I suppose, but there's no carry pick here right now that I'm looking at and going, that excites me in the context of what we can see so far in this game. Clings? No, not playable. Not here. I'm really not sure. Maybe this physical shadow fiend thing is okay. I don't really think Gianni plays that though. Yeah, I really can't see what the pick is here. Like, you just pick something and it'll be fine, obviously. Like, you can pick Luna and it'll be fine here. But it doesn't create such a problem that Dire are going to have any difficulty answering that. I'm not saying that their answer will necessarily just win them the game. That's not how drafting works. But it doesn't, like, I'm struggling to see a carry pick that creates really significant issues. Yes, and that certainly doesn't, right? It's good, don't get me wrong, it'll have a decent lane and so on and so forth. But it's never going to really reach the point where it's a sole win condition unless it just has a completely free game.
10 seconds remain.
Like, Spitbreaker Bag's obviously super good against Lifestealer. Spitbreaker in general, not bad. The lane's a bit rough, as I say. Like, Disruptor Lifestealer is going to bully the hell out of this lane. Unless, hear me out, you put Mike mid on Visage, make the Spitbreaker a 4 and this Willow a 5, and pick Viper off lane. That would be quite cool. I'd probably get, like, if I were drafting, I would probably have decided that that's a really cool plan and start doing it. But I think it's fine to just draft straight here. Nope, Mike is indeed playing the core Visage, I guess, with a 3 Spirit Breaker. I mean, it could be a mid Grim, but I don't think so. I'm reading this as 4 Willow, 5 Grim. And there's no way Mike's letting anyone else, and there's no way that anyone in that team should even think that they're playing core Visage if they're not Mike. I mean, Tom could be on the Grim and Daggy the Spirit Breaker or something like that. That would work. Yeah, don't know. Only here I'm certain is that that's Mike on the Visage, and that's now probably the mid laner. Do Diversity Quota therefore pick Razor as their last pick? Like, it's so good against Lifestealer. But, I mean, these bands are going to tell us somewhat. Like, certainly they are now reading this as core Visage, because they're not stupid.
10 seconds remain. 5 seconds.
Open the Ursa because they like its match against Lifestealer, fine. I think DQ could troll here.
It is Dire's ban.
I think Razor's better though. Naga? Don't really think that was where they were gonna go. Hmm.
10 seconds.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this finishes out.
5 seconds. Radiant's turn to pick.
Quap ban. Doesn't really tell me too much, but I still think Razor's just such a slam dunk of a pick here. God, I hate the fact that I've become a Razor sympathizer, despite the fact I really find playing the hero quite boring.
10 seconds remain.
Hmm. And coming right to the end of the time, they opt for.
Of the light.
I mean, are they doing them a favour? This looks like a mid Cottle for Connor. Against a Spirit Breaker seems very odd. That just looks like a really bad pick to me. I don't understand.
10 seconds. 5 seconds.
I really don't understand that. Like, this draft looks really normal, and then there's just a fucking mid Cottle in it, and it's not a good mid Cottle game. There's already a Spirit Breaker. There's a Visage who's actually really good at getting on top of you, particularly when you get Ags. I just think that I don't understand. This Cottle's going to have such a miserable game. I'm gonna really throw myself out there and call that the worst pick of today. And then Connor's probably gonna get a rampage or some nonsense. Like, I'm really setting myself up for failure here with absolutely no reward, but I do not understand that, and I cannot believe it is good. Oh, sorry. And then PA comes out. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, and it's good against life. Yeah, perfectly sensible pick, this PA. I mean, it's playing against Tide. Classically, he's been kind of okay, not great. Oh, and Tom is the one playing the Spirit Breaker. It is Daggy on the Willow and Mel on the Grim. Okay, yeah, I mean, I could have seen multiple permutations of that coming out, but they'll know who's most comfortable on which hero, and I don't. So, yeah, cool. Alrighty, well, I definitely prefer the DQ draft. I don't understand this Cottle. I think it's very odd. But maybe I'm missing something. Right. Quick item roundup. Trenchy no fairy fires. Who is this guy? This isn't Trenchy. I remember Trenchy starting a game with 4 fairy fires on the run once. This is far too sensible. Connor, on the other hand, yeah, I mean, he's just a fucking lunatic, isn't he? I mean, the good news for him is he's laying as a visage. You can't really do that much to punish him, but yeah. Nelson, same build as last game. Pizza, pretty much the same as last game, I think. And Gianni, 6 tangos are a lot to start with. Minor quibble, but there you go. But, I mean, Ruby start with 6 tangos in the start. This feels like so much regen. There's going to be so much regen in that lane for the Dire. I mean, it's not the easiest lane, I guess, but 2 fairy fires there again. Tom, yeah, I mean, that looks normal enough. I'm not convinced by the value of the stick here when one of the heroes is a life stealer. I know Disrupt's going to get quite a few spells off, but I do think just another set of tangos is probably just better at mitigating that. Mel in trouble here. The arrow, oh, just a little bit deep, presumably because of the level of slow going on. And Johnny gets the first blood. He's going to lose half his health for it. Probably not too upset about it, though. You can buy quite a few tangos with that. Well, I mean, don't all chat. Fine, and Mike. Blightstone. Try harding in a game that doesn't matter. Pizza just come mid to get the D ward.
Denied.
Connor 1-on-1. Connor 3-2 first wave, very nice. Mike started Gravekeepers. Is that normal, Mike? I didn't think it was. I play a bit of mid visage. I'm sure not as much as Mike, but I'm sure you go Grave Chill first. Certainly in this lane, I can't imagine you shouldn't. Well, in the bot lane, the supports are presumably trading, but, you know, one of them's a disruptor. So it wins the trade. Tom lost it well. Johnny obviously a little bit better, but I'd expect him to be. He's after all a life steal, much better attack animation. Got a little bit less damage, but does have a disruptor support as well. Ruby getting aggressive in the top lane, they do get the kill, but then they get the counter kill. That's a big wave coming into Nelson here, can't be too unhappy about that. Flip says Nelson's going to take quite a bit of damage, he says, as Nelson doesn't take quite a bit of damage. Trenchy throws out the arrow, just misses. Ruby's going to look for the pull, no? No, okay. Sure, not great wave positioning anyway, and Connor's doing very well out this mid lane. I mean, ultimately he's against a Visage, it's basically like a slightly better range creep, but... It's like a Beastmaster Boar except without the slow. And a bit more health, not that much more though.
Radiant's courier makes the ultimate sacrifice.
So this courier goes down bot. I'm not sure to what. Maybe to a camp or something? Pizza's taking a lot of damage here. But, you know, the Radiant Core's definitely having the best time of it so far.
A gift from the tempest of battle.
Pizza's done nice to keeps, okay, fair enough. And Nelson kills Ruby again. And they're gonna get Mel as well? No, they're not, because the Starfall hits in the creep wave. The second Starfall hit, I should say. Mike missing quite a few CS. Mel goes down on the top lane, having a very hard time up here.
Be tonight.
Decent trading going on down here, but 1k net worth leader ready for the Radiant. It's because Connor is, sure enough, just completely demolishing this. The flip side is, this lane was always going to go well for him. And I did acknowledge that before, but I'm just not sure how easy the game is with charge and so on. Maybe with good vision and so on, it's probably fine, but... Okay. And now off he goes to the jungle, and I mean, net worth, there we go. 2,600, 5 minutes in. He's going to have 5k at 10 minutes, if not more. I mean, that's normal for this mid-cottle, I think, but it does mean that he's doing it properly and well, right? Mike gets his birds, right, and he's got the 3 points of Gravekeeper, so his birds are not going to have any chance of dying to this blast. And, you know, with a bit of smart play and positioning here, Mike can actually get quite aggressive in this lane now, I think. Mel gets a good stun, but so does Trenchy. But they can't really turn it, can they? That's a good double Inkswell as well. Trenchy jumps away. Gush out onto Ruby. Bug out onto Trenchy, but Trenchy's just able to attack it down because, you know, early on Bug's just a bit crap. Need the third point in it for it to be any good. Oh no, that finds Mel. They're going to get very aggressive on Mel now here, and Mel's going to go down.
By whose hand?
Get nothing.
Matt is going to find the kill. Meanwhile, many lanes away in the bot lane. So 2 lanes away, just to be clear. Radiant having the better time there again, I think. Yeah. Corrosion on Gianni going into the phase and the armlet. Looks very sensible, very normal. Tom has his phase and Shadowblade 8. And then Ags, again, very normal and sensible. Mike going Midas. Is Midas on Visage a thing at the moment, or is this some kind of weird kind of thing they've decided to do? Mike looking for the ancient stack, just a moment too late there. Ruby does find, with the help of Mel, Matthew in the top lane. Well, kind of halfway in the top river, really, wasn't it? But there we go. Connor, on the other hand, fucking net worth already, Jesus Christ. I mean, he's playing this perfectly. He's buying all the right items. This time they're going to get Ruby, and I imagine Mel's there as well. Yeah. No? No, Mo does walk away. I think Trench actually just kills the bug there. Maybe if they each hit it, Nelson would have to be coordinated, but I think with that they could get the Starstorm off on the kill. But yeah, nicely done. Haesun now out on to Mike in the mid lane. But he's used his Q, so he can't now get aggressive onto Connor. I think it's a bit of a shame, to be honest. I really would like to see him get aggressive onto Connor here. Yeah, or onto Pizza. Like, come on, dude, you've got so much damage. Oh, Trench is going to be the one to go down here. Oh, but they get the kill onto Mel in return. And they're going to secure the sidefall. But there's no creep wave coming in.
Dire should look to their middle tower.
Dire, I guess, probably should look to their mid tower. And Gianni just kind of uncontested here, unmolested, happily farming away, and Tom now being gone on. Gianni does rage it, yeah. MLS used, TP using immediately cancelled by Mel.
Gift from the tempest of battle.
Mike has his Midas, is using it quite effectively. Oh, and Connor's rotated up, and that's going to be, I mean, that's a lovely ink swell, but doesn't matter, unfortunately.
Double damage.
5k net worth lead at 10 minutes, that is basically one Connor. His trench is basically a fourth core at this point.
Tower is in danger.
And they're going to take this top tower.
Lady Mirana.
There is little hope for Radiant's
Alright, Costle, you weird fucker.
top tower is under attack.
I do want to see Mike do something a little bit more aggressive.
Top
He's
tower.
playing so passive and it's quite frustrating.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
God, I was almost at Dagon. And Tom can't really play here anymore. They need to find a way to connect Tom and Mike onto Cottle or another hero. Because they can't keep playing this lane in the way they are. Oh, and Ruby's had to go jungle on PA. And this is the thing, you don't want to go jungle if you have Orb of Corrosion. Like, Corrosion's normally an item you buy if you're planning to stay in lane. Certainly that's what Nico Baby said in his Gamer's class. And Nico Baby is cleverer than I am, so I believe him implicitly. Well, he's definitely not cleverer than I am, but he's better at Dota than me. So we're going to connect onto Gianni. Oh, the beautiful chain stunning, but they don't find the second bird drop in time, so he's going to be able to infest away. It was a very nice try, though. Connor now, or Cottle, I was going to say, but I suppose that's one and the same. Coming down now with the travels. Chopping the W onto Tomington. And the blast through. And Peter's now here as well, and they've used the MLS. And, you know, Gianni's just deposited himself back in the middle of them. They've glimpsed Mike back, they've used the static as well, but Connor's pushed Mike out of the static, it's not going to matter. And there's the big Ravage, and that's going to be 2 heroes dead, both going to Pizza. Probably a 3rd hero up here, I would have thought. Yeah.
Dire's bottom tower is in danger.
The prize is mine.
Big fight going on down here. Sorry, my brain just turned off completely. I forgot I was supposed to be casting. Glimpse back onto Daggy. But Daggy breaks the Shadow Realm, it's therefore going to go down here. The blast from Connor, double kill. Surely another level of Dagon flying out. No. Boo, Connor, more Dagon.
Radiant's middle tower.
Then you get your Kaio and Sanj, you get your Blade, and you just wallop people. Ruby walks past Trenchy in response. They notice the stacks, but they can't do anything about that.
To their middle
I
tower.
think this Battle Fury is a mistake at this point. Your team needs you, so you just got to go Deso and BKB and fight. It's really unsatisfactory, but I really don't see what the alternative is. just can't kill any of these heroes. They just can't kill these heroes. And Connor's coming back. Do they have Ravage? They do. Ravage static. The static misses, the Ravage hits. So they're going to get Daggy and Mel, I would guess. Yep. Mike tries to get out, gets glimpsed back. Did have the ink swell up, so probably gets away. But this is very, very rough, unfortunately, now. Ruby doing a good job at least pressuring into mid tower. Nelson coming to stop it. And Janny is just completely free. Okay. Going Armlet, SMY, has the overcorrosion himself. Trenchy going into Yules, the Sphere Breaker, yep.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Beats is going to have a finished Glimmer, then going, well, Gale Scepter, isn't it? Sorry, words. Yeah, I think this is so difficult now for the Dire. Feels from what they said, it feels like from what they said they don't realise that they still can get something out of this week if other games go their way, but, you know. Sad egg. Oh, Pizza's going to go down here. Probably just a little bit. No, Pizza. Oh, Pizza didn't go down. Jesus Christ, Mao does there. Yikes. Well, there's no way Nelson goes down. This doesn't feel realistic to me. Cotton Blast comes out, doesn't connect. Nelson wants to go back in. He's going for Greaves this game. Oh, takes quite a bit of damage there. And the charge comes through. Is glimmered though. Connor just not really blasting heroes, but yeah. We're at Dagon 3 now. Daggy presumably going to get glimpsed back.
Radiant's bottom tower
No?
is under attack. Radiant should look to their bottom tower.
Oh, it just doesn't see the right wards up the hill, I guess. Trenchy getting the DD for Nelson. Bunch of damage coming out onto Mike, but Mike is... Oh, I was going to say Mike is quite tanky, but no, he's not. And Mel now running in. Mel's going to die as well. This kind of game is really hard to cast. I can kind of feel the frustration of the Dire team, and I would be frustrated as well, I think. I don't really know what to do or what to say. I mean, they have this Battle Fury, great. If Ruby can somehow have another half an hour, maybe they can solo win, but... I'm not convinced they're actually going to take a tower this game.
Finders, keepers.
Shadows take us.
The Radiant scan, eager to know Dire's middle tower is under attack.
I'm going to smoke play or something coming out, maybe? Do they think they're Oshing? Ruby level 12. I mean, Ruby's only a level behind the Life Stealer and only 1500 gold, so getting good use out of this Battle Fury, I guess. Piece of TPing in. Can they punish this somehow?
The prize is mine.
Nice Inkswell on the birds. Mike doing the resummon in order to make sure they can easily get the kill. Nicely done, Mike.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
For those who don't know, when you resummon the birds, you get another drop. So it can give you 4 sets of stuns, or later on, if you get the extra familiar, 6 stuns. Or later on, if you, by refresher, 8 stuns. 9 stuns. 9, yes, sorry.
The dire scan. On the hunt
And then with
for
Shard, you know, you can stone form yourself as well for even more stun action. So, yeah. Something stuns. Blink stun with Visage or something with Shard. Yes. Tom, 300 gold from the, oh, and Connor's just killed Mike. But 200 gold now from this Shadow Blade, which will help, I guess. Yes, this Cottle now has a Dagon 5 flying out there. And Gianni's decided to come push.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
The Arrow connected. Rough.
Dire structures are fortified. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Is that talent? Yeah.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Ruby with the DD. Is Ruby feeling like they're for fight time? I can't imagine so, but maybe if Ruby can find Pete or something in the back lines. Tom gets the charge through onto Connor. Maybe they can connect with the DD onto Connor. Yeah, they can, and that's a really nice kill. Probably going to get punished for it, but I mean, take what you can get, I think. I mean, if Ruby gets out, oh, the glimpse. Oh, I mean, moved around a bunch, but at the end of the day, just go down. And Gianni, just one more bash, come on Tom. Bash. No, great armor toggling from Gianni though, come on. Can't not give the man props for that. Crops? I don't know. You know, something. I'm not a farmer.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
I'm very tired. Connor's back here. Yules. And just walloped, unfortunately. Mike is going to get out though.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
We TP'd out to bot. Now only 700 gold from BKA. Going to be 600 with this.
This should make my life easier.
And, yeah, they have shown a bit of what I talked about in the draft, where this Cottle pick seemed questionable because they could just kill it if they ever connect, like, even one hero onto it for long. Speaker B should, in theory, make that quite easy. They smoke back into their own jungle and have found Ruby. Ruby going for the... Ruby just trying for the kill on something. Came very close, actually. Dire making the correct movement in response and just going to push out top because they know that there aren't heroes here except Gianni, who can be wherever the hell he likes because he's level 16. He's now going MKB so he can kill this PA. Could go Silver Edge for the same reason, but MKB is probably a more reliable choice.
Haste.
Well, Ruby's farm really isn't bad for this game. Looks like Mel's dead. Presumably any spell was cast. Oh, and the charge also gets caught by the Ravage. Mike goes down, and that's the GG call. They just don't want to drag it out.
Is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, that felt tough from a morale perspective. I don't want to dissect that game too much because I don't think they need it. And you look stunned are sorted anyway. So, GG's. Right, next game is currently up for a reschedule, I think. So we'll have to see when that is. I think it's that's my team's game. That actually might be rearranged to Friday. So the next game is likely to therefore be is that Puck and Tur versus Ligma on Wednesday. So I shall see you then. Maybe. Hopefully someone else will cast it. But if not, I'll probably get roped in. Bye.